Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the second meeting of our class, Semantic and Pragmatics. That's why previously, last week, we had a discussions about the differences between semantic and pragmatic, and knowing meaning, in general, started from semiotic, semantic, and pragmatics. Now, we'll have a discussion about utterance, sentence, propositions, and the last one is prosody. So have you heard about it? What are the differences among them? Yeah, let's see. You can download the material on the e-learning web and you can read it, slowly and while listening to this video. Okay. So this is the review, about the differences between pragmatic and semantics. Both of them study about meaning, but mainly pragmatic is concerned with the setting, context. That's why this is meaning in context, meaning in use. Okay, I think that's just in a glance. Okay, so we need to convey about this because we need to have a perception, identification, interpretation. This is last week materials too. So I think that's enough for the review. Yeah, we'll come to the next one. This one. Based on this picture, this is about the Macbeth, the role play performance. Yeah. So what do you think about it? Yeah, this is the tragedy of Macbeth. Okay, you can read it about Shakespeare novels, then into role play. The question is, do all means the authentic performance of Macbeth begin by using the same sentence? What do you think? Do all the authentic performances of Macbeth begin by using the same sentence? So in the Macbeth, they have script, right? Like this. The act one, the scene in the desert place, thunder and lightning enter the three witches. So the first witches say like this: when shall we three meet again? Blah 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 blah. Yeah. The question is, do all those authentic performances of Macbeth begin by using the same sentence? What do you think? And then that sentence, the question is about, do all authentic performance of Macbeth begin with the same utterances? With the same utterance, like this. If this is the script, if this is the original, the answer of the first question is yes. They all use the same sentence, right? The same sentence is this: when shall we three meet again? For example, like that. But if it is spoken, uttered, the question is, do all the authentic performance of Macbeth begin with the same utterance? The answer is no. Because this is the real act, in the first scene. And then this is another one. So they have all different interpretation, different setting, different time. Maybe this time is in the 1980s. This is in the 2013. So the utterance uttered by different people. So the question is different. Does it make sense to talk of the time and place of a sentence? Yeah, that's why if we talk about sentence, for example, the Macbeth, the first script, Act 1, Scene 1, so it can be used 10 years ago, right now, and the future. But does it make sense to talk about time and place of an utterance? Yes, because the utterance said now will be different in the next week, next time, for example, tomorrow, or right now, for example, this is 1 p.m., it will be different in 1 and 5 minutes. It's different. So the utterance will be different based on the time or based on the place. Whether it's uttered by the same person, like Hari. Hari said like now, hi. Then comes into several seconds, hi. It's with different utterance, ya. So you got the differences. Kalimat dengan ujaran perbedaannya di situ. So in English reference, ya, based on Cadler and Griffiths, ya, an utterance is any stretch of talk. This is taken by Howard and Hazley. Karena ada beberapa rangkuman dari referensi lain, ya. Howard and Hazley. An utterance is any stretch of talk by one person before and after which there is a silence on the part of the person. That's why an utterance is to use by a particular speaker on a particular occasion of a piece of language, such as a sequence of sentence. That's why a single phrase or even a single word. Nah, this is the mapping of utterance, ya. For example, hello, I'm here. He was born in Bandung. Nah, the fourth and the fifth, is that utterance? Oh, ya. Kalau ini ada tanda kutipnya, ya, yang keempat itu, tapi apakah itu utterance? Ya. Ya, kenapa itu ditanyakan? Karena mengacu ke definisi utterance, ya. Utterance is written, ya, using the double apostrophe, something like that. Nah, tapi kalau tidak, itu namanya sentence. A sentence is neither a physical event nor a physical object. Ya, it is confused. That's why a sentence can be a thought of an ideal string of words, ya, behind various realizations in utterance and inscription. Jadi di script maupun di utterance yang sudah diucapkan itu ada ideal string of words, ya, ada thought, ada pemikiran, itu disebut sentence yang tertuang dalam kalimat. Makanya kalau kita bikin analogi, ya, we have the analogy of the sentence, we have word with grammatical rules that it comes to sentence. It is wrapped by one thought or complete meaning, ya, with a complete meaning. Sentence in written language ini kebalikannya, without any double obstacle. He was born in Bandung. This is one of the samples, ya. Sekarang untuk pengantarnya, karena kita berbicara tentang makna, baik itu dalam sentence, ya, in a sentence or in a utterance, ya, we'll have a simple exercise. Consider the following pair of sentence, ya. In each case, say whether there are any circumstances of which one member of the pair could be true and the other could be false. Kalau iya, itu disebut yes. Kalau semuanya salah atau satu benar, satunya lagi pasti salah, itu pakai yes, ya. Kalau dua-duanya itu bisa benar semua, itu nanti no, ya. Oke. Harry took out the garbage. Then Harry took the garbage out. Apakah itu kalau kalimat satu benar, kalimat dua pasti benar, atau kalimat satu benar, kalimat dua belum tentu benar, artinya bisa saja false. Harry took out the garbage. Kita bayangkan ke visualnya, ya. The interpretation. Semua mengacu ke hal yang sama, ya kan? Kalau Harry took out the garbage is right, then Harry took the garbage out will be also right. Okay, then John gave Mary a book, ya. The other sentence is Mary was given a book by John. Kalau John gave Mary a book, is it Mary was given a book by John? Is that correct? Yeah, because this is just passive voice, right? So both of the sentences are correct. Now, the next one, the next analogy. Isobel loves Tony. Or we can say in another word, maybe with another name, ya. Irfan loves Gita Gutawa, for example. Then the second sentence, Tony loves Isobel. Atau Gita Gutawa loves, siapa tadi namanya, nggak terkenal, ya, Irfan. Is that wrong or correct? If the first sentence is right, the second sentence is also right. Belum tentu kalau yang ini, ya, karena it is not about passive voice or not about the same thought, ya, karena Isabel love Tony, belum tentu Tony juga love Isabel or Isobel, ya, di sini the name. That's why this is about proposition. Nah, itu nanti sekilas ya, you can also read the following. Nah, seperti ini. Dr. Fadli killed Janet dan Dr. Fadli caused Janet to die. Apakah kalimat 2 itu tentu benar apabila kalimat 1 benar? Belum tentu. Kenapa? Because killed directly ya, literally directly. Kalau 2 itu bisa juga dia menyuruh orang lain untuk meracuni atau there is kind of superstition or something like that cause to die, itu beda ya. Nomor 1 dan 2 mungkin ada yang sama, tetapi belum tentu 100% kalau 1 benar, 2 harus juga benar ya. That's about proposition. So a proposition is that part of the meaning of the utterance of a declarative sentence which describe same ya state of affair. Jadi we have a state of affair itu tertuangkan dalam proposition. That's why the state of affairs typically involve person or thing referred to by expression in the sentence and the situation or action they are involved in. Jadi secara sekilas kita ada seperti ini. The notion of truth can be used to decide whether two sentences express different proposition. Kenapa kuis singkat tadi itu bisa untuk mengetes proposition. Jadi kita flashback sekilas ya. Kalau ini, Harry took out the garbage. Harry took the garbage out. Sama kalimat atau tidak? Beda. Beda kalimat, jelas ya. Out-nya, posisinya beda. Tapi apakah ini, utterance jelas beda. Saya mengujarkannya berbeda detik, ya, berbeda waktu. Tetapi apakah ini sama preposition-nya? Yes, the same preposition, karena sama konsepnya. Ini juga tadi ya, sama konsepnya, hanya kalimatnya beda. Ini satu berbentuk pasif, satu aktif. Tetapi ini tetap sama proposition-nya. Yang berbeda ini. Ini kalimatnya beda? Yes, the different sentence. Proposition-nya beda juga, karena ini belum tentu benar ya. Kalau Isobel love Tony itu belum tentu Tony love Isobel. Nah, that's about proposition. Ya, you can read it again slowly, then try to absorb it to your understanding. The next information about proposition. True proposition correspond to facts in the ordinary sense of the word fact. Ya, tadi ya. Ada hubungannya dengan fakta. False proposition do not correspond to fact. One can entertain proposition in the mind regardless of whether they are true or false. For example, ya, by thinking of them or believing them. But only true proposition can be known. Jadi karena itu sudah based on the fact, we can make a validation about it, about the validity ya, so we can know that this is a true proposition or not. Makanya itu true proposition itu correspond to a fact in the ordinary sense of the word of fact. Itu seperti contoh lainnya ya. John can go. Can John go? Nah, kita bicarakan proposition. Satu bentuknya the form of statement. The second one the form of informative ya, or yes no questions ya. Integrative sentence. Nah, tapi kedua-duanya menyatakan tentang proposisi yang sama, tentang John dan tentang go. Jadi itu adalah in saying John go, a speaker assert the proposition that John can go. In saying can John go, he mentioned the same proposition, but merely question its truth, mempertanyakan kebenarannya. Jadi baik ini masih terbukti kebenarannya atau belum itu, tetapi intinya sama-sama memiliki proposition yang satu ya, sama proposition. Makanya itu walaupun bentuknya beda, satunya one is statement, the other one is integrative sentence ya, tetapi ini kalau kita menganalisis John can go and can John go belongs to the same proposition. Nah, itu dia. Lainnya ya. I'm cold, child word. Lalu ada bahasa Jermannya, bahasa Rusia ya. This word can extend to which they are perfect translation of each other. Be said to correspond to the same proposition. Jadi ini ke translation ya, atau kita membahas bahasa-bahasa yang berbeda. Baik bahasanya itu sentence-nya berbeda, tapi memiliki proposisi yang sama. Contohnya dalam contoh yang kedua, selain yang ini ya, kalau ini hanya beda bahasa, itu proposisinya sama. Ya, you can read about it. Ya, a proposition is an abstraction that can be grasped by the mind of individual person. Nah, itu. Nanti dia bisa membentuk lebih dari satu kalimat, dan satu kalimat itu bisa diujarkan ya, lebih dari satu utterances. Oke. Keterangan tambahnya saja ya. Furthermore, a proposition is not a process, whereas a thought can be seen as a process going on an individual's mind. Jadi inilah yang mengarahkan kognitif kita dalam membentuk kalimat. Ya, oke. Kalau kita lihat hubungannya, we see on the relationship, ya, the mental process, thought, maka kalau abstract semantic entities-nya tentang maknanya itu disebut proposition. Nah, kalau itu sudah dibuat dalam sebuah tatanan kata-kata yang memiliki tata bahasa, itu disebut linguistic entities ya, atau sentence. Nah, itu diujarkan, dia bisa berarti action-nya ya, the action atau utterances. Ya, the proposition, main idea, atau meaning of sentence. Ini rangkumannya itu. Nah, secara mapping, teman-teman bisa lihat, ya, the proposition, the cognitive of our mind that can derive us into one unified of meaning. Proposition can create one or more sentence, ya, sentences more. Nah, makanya itu satu proposisi itu bisa memiliki bentuk-bentuk kalimat yang berbeda, tapi proposisinya sama. Nah, satu kalimatnya itu bisa memiliki ujaran-ujaran yang berbeda. Diujarkan sekarang, diujarkan kemarin, diujarkan besok, diujarkan satu kalimat saja bisa diujarkan oleh different people, right? Maybe it's do not enter, ada yang baca itu, yang baca namanya Hari. Lalu do not enter, yang baca namanya lainnya lagi Budi. Do not enter, it's different people. So one sentence can create one or more utterances. This is the mapping. Nah, sekarang kita sudah tahu tentang proposition, then sentence, then utterance. We move to another last discussions ya. So read it. I will read it for you ya from this presentation. There is A and B ya. Has the Winston Street task come yet? Sorry, I didn't understand. What did he say? I'm afraid Fred didn't like the remark I made. Oh, what did you say? Some of my parents said they wouldn't accept these terms. And you, what did you say? Ya, bisa macam-macam ya. You are misquoting me. I didn't say anything like that. Oh, what did you say? Nah, what did you say sendiri tadi sudah kita tahu ya. Utterance, then sentence, then proposition, ya kan? Ini bisa diujarkan berbeda-beda ya. The sequence of words, what did you say, occur in all four dialogues, but it is pronounced differently in each. Jadi teman-teman bisa praktekkan dengan berbeda-beda pronunciation-nya ya. Individual speakers might vary somewhat in just what they pronounce, but the four renditions can be represented as follows, where the most prominent syllable is indicated with the capital letters and the rising or falling of the voice is indicated by letters going up or going down. Jadi kita bahas secara terstruktur di sini. Tadi contoh random. Sekarang kalau what did you say itu sebenarnya ada prosodinya, ya seperti ini. Has the Winston Street bus come yet? Sorry, I didn't understand. What did you say? Lalu I'm afraid Fred didn't like the remark I made. Oh, what did you say? Nah, beda-beda. Ini nanti maksudnya adalah minta pengulangan, ya. Kalau ini mau meminta informasi, lah kamu ngomonginnya apa, gitu kan? Karena Fred didn't like the remark I made. Nah, kamunya ngomongnya apa, gitu kan? Nah, the third Ya, some of my parents said they wouldn't accept this term. So, what did you say? Nah, kalau kamu sendiri mau bilang apa gitu ya? Karena kalau orang tua dari rekan-rekannya itu, some of my partners, not parents ya, partner itu they wouldn't accept this term. Mereka mengujarkan ya, tidak mau menerima tawaran ini. Lalu, what did you say? Nah, itu kan beda-beda. You are misquoting me. I didn't say anything like that. Oh, what did you say? Penekanannya juga beda. Kalau miskom tentang itu, lalu kamu itu maksudnya bilang apa, gitu kan? Nah, falling, rising, baik di did atau di sini di you-nya, ini di say-nya, ini di what-nya, ya ada 4 perbedaan. Kalimatnya berapa? 1. Tapi maknanya nanti bisa dari for proposition ya. Bisa mengacu ke maksud yang sedikit berbeda, tetapi proposisinya tetap sama. One proposition, what did you say, mengacu ke 1 kalimat sendiri, what did you say, lalu dipraktekkan di 4 konteks yang berbeda, in 4 different context, has different meaning. Ya, inilah prosody yang mempengaruhi makna. Ya, in linguistic, prosody is concerned with those elements of speech that are not individual phonetic segment, vowel and consonant, but are properties of syllables and larger unit of speech, including linguistic function, ya, such as intonation, tone, stress, and rhythm, atau di istilah lain disebut suprasegmental. Ini mengulang saja because you have passed introduction to linguistic and you have also passed phonetic and phonology course. Both of the course already explained about prosody or suprasegmental. So in this meeting, you can read this again. This is the sample of, nanti bisa dipraktekkan statement versus question, ya. Ada information sought and repetition requested. Jadi prosody itu mempengaruhi. Gitu. Nah, okay. So in the second meeting, we wrap up several points. First is about review from the last meeting in a glance. Then second is about what is proposition, then comes into sentence, then comes into utterance. Then utterance can create a different meaning too, influenced by prosody or suprasegmental. Okay, thank you very much. That's my explanation. You can rewatch this video if you have got understanding, and also can ask me, privately or through the group. You are very welcome to do that. Thank you very much. See you again in the next meeting. Goodbye.